All right, we are live. Welcome back to Stock Tricks with Nick. We got the midweek movers here. So this is the second time we've done this Wednesday live stream, where I'll be going over the stocks that I'm currently holding, what's on my watch list, and any stocks that I've gotten either from Twitter or StockTwits to check out during the live stream. So if you guys have any stocks that aren't on this agenda list that you want me to cover, use the comment section in the chat here, and we'll go over each of those stocks. If you're watching this live stream after it's been posted, you can do the same. Go ahead and drop a comment, say, hey, Nick, what about this stock? And I'll just run through a quick technical analysis in the comment section on that. So with that said, if you are new to Stock Tricks with Nick, welcome. This is a trading channel, stock trading channel, where we go over not just the winning stocks. There's a couple on here that I do want to go over because it's important to find good breakout setups that we've been able to find this week. But also, I'll always show all my losers, any mistakes that I made, whether they're just me breaking my trading rules, me putting on too much size, not enough size on a certain setup. So I'm always upfront and honest with anything that I trade. If you guys are interested and on StockTwits, let me jump to. So on my StockTwits account, you can see on my watch list all the stocks that I'm currently in. I'll typically update this once a day. So if something hits my stop loss and I get stopped out, then I'll keep it on here just to keep an eye on it, see how it happens or how it trades through the rest of the week. But yeah, if you go on StockTwits and on your laptop, I think only, you can go to my profile, go to watch list, and see what I'm trading. With that said, make sure you follow me on StockTwits. That's Stock Tricks with Nick, and on Twitter, that's Stock Trick Nick. On Twitter, I'll go over a more select group of stocks that I'll be trading. And on StockTwits, I'll typically go through a full list of what's on my watch list, just jumping through what I'm looking at. The next month or so, it'll be a little bit condensed because I have an actuarial exam coming up November 20th. So definitely need some more time to study for that. So with that said, let's get into this agenda, get into some technical analysis. Make sure you help me out and just click on that like button and comment any stocks that you want to see throughout this or any questions you have. So first, I feel like we got to mention it. FSLY down 26% after hours. Let's just throw that screen on here. Maybe it's 25. 25. This sucks. This isn't a stock that I'm currently in, but only because I missed the ideal breakout point. I've been watching the stock through here, and you got a really nice kind of double top here that once you broke through that, clean breakout with huge volume, pushing over that upper Bollinger Band. Everything looked good here. If you're a swing trader, there was no real signal that we were going to get this giant 25% dump. And with that said, this happens. This happens in trading. The only way that you can really prepare for that is through position sizing. So not putting all your eggs in one basket. Typically, my max will be 15 to 20%, I'd say, on any single position. Typically, I'm 5 to 10% though, only if a stock's truly working for me and it's a really constructive setup will I put more size than that. But even with 10% of the portfolio on this, 30% move down in one day, basically, that's 3% to your portfolio hit. That would hurt anyone and take a little bit to get back. So again, I wasn't in this stock, but the only reason I wasn't was because I missed the really nice entry. Not much you can do if you were in this, except kind of listen to some of your stop loss rules. Maybe you took some profit on the way up. I know I like to take 10% of my position off every multiple of my average gain. Right now that's 7%. So maybe I would have scaled a little bit out, but still would have been hit hard. So that's FSLY, FSLY. And just because they lowered revenue, I think it was $5 million, something with the TikTok deal. So watching this for tomorrow, right now it's at that 50-day simple moving average. So let me kind of switch this to explain. So yeah, on this bottom screen here, it'll show what every line that I have on my graph is, but red is the 50-day simple moving average. That's where this is at right now. So we'll see how tomorrow plays out, but really unfortunate. But it does happen. It happened to me twice this week. We'll go SRNE next. This is one, and I always have my buy and sell flags on. Full transparency, not trying to hide anything here. So talking about a loss that I took first off the bat. This one, really constructive setup right through there. There's that. This is just a quickly drawn pennant, but picked up about 2/3 of my position on Monday after it broke. Did it break over the high? It broke over this like downtrend right there, resistance. So bought 2/3 in, added another 1/3 of the position. So I had full 10% size on this when it went through or when it opened up the next day higher. Sold some, again, sold 10% of the position as it went through a multiple of my average gain, locking in some profit. But then just after hours, there was some call. Wasn't paying enough attention to it. I got out of half the remaining position, so 45% of the initial position, right at my average entry, and then the rest I cut this morning. But that stuff happens. You can't always trade around that. What I should have done was once I learned that news was coming out, once I saw that there was a call, I should have treated it like in earnings, where if I have a 10% or more gain, then I can kind of roll the dice, stick with my position, maybe scale out some. But I didn't, and I got hit hard for it. So kind of a lesson learned there on any new news that's coming out. So that's CRNE. Another position I had that did work out really well for me, but got the rest stopped out today was LAZY. So zooming out here, you can see a really, really strong move from the base here. That's 750%. Completely missed all this. But we got that volatility contraction pattern that we like to see with a little pull down. Let's see what this was. 35% or so. 35% pull down from the top, and then you get a wave. You get a higher second pullback. So that pullback's getting constricted. The volatility is getting constricted. Volatility contraction pattern. And then I bought in. It's kind of hard to see with all of these, but what price did I eventually get in at? 1341 is at the high of the previous day. No, it was a little higher. I think basically I got in at 1341 here, so probably up through here, but notice large volume coming in. So when big volume comes in on a breakout of this VCP pattern, usually it moves pretty strong, and that's what we saw throughout the rest of the week. We got a pullback. Let's see, this is Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Friday. So on Friday, we got one quick pullback that found support at that 50-day simple moving average, that red line, and moved up a little bit. But notice how small volume that was. So pullbacks on small volume, that doesn't scare me as much. It still didn't close near the low, found some support at a typical moving average. So stuck with the trade through there. Then on Monday, we got big volume breaking through the upper Bollinger Band. Let me pull this down so you can see my sell flags. I think I did, yeah, sold a portion of 14.4. The next day, another big move on big volume, just kind of scaling some out at 1621 and 1684. And was sitting on about half the position from 1341, and secondary offering of stock in the after hours pulled this down. This did break under the 8-day, but moved up throughout the day. I cut it when it was minus like 14% on the day, so did give up about 5%, but we'll let this kind of figure out where the price wants to be. Keep it on my watch list, maybe enter later, but it was a good trade, but after hours, kind of randomness caused me to lose out on that second half of the trade. But what did I do well there? I took some profits on the way up. So always trying to book some profits while they're there gives me a little bit extra wiggle room with the rest of my trades. So those are two examples of how after hours affected me, unfortunately, but let's go to one that worked out really well for me, which is NIO. So zooming out to get the full chart, this has been a monster mover. I don't know, from May, May to the base, 540%, and really constructive patterns every time. This is a beautiful chart to look at because it breaks out on very high volume and then starts to pull back on lighter and lighter volume. And you can see each pullback comes on less magnitude. So that's 34%. Let's see, that's 20%. And then we get going a little bit. But basically, you could see rough drawing on the first one, but volume here. Notice the volume getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And then we got a breakout. After that breakout, similar setup. Big volume on the breakout, lighter volume on the pullback, kind of sideways motion, and then another 2 big candles of volume as it broke out again. And then just really, really nice sideways movement on light volume here. So I bought in, let's see, at 2168 on this green day. What was I looking at here? I think I was just kind of drawing this downward diagonal line. Got in with, I want to say 8% of my portfolio, so not a full 10, didn't hit that meat of the bat, but made good contact. Obviously, JP Morgan upgraded the stock today, and it shot up. Let me kind of show my sell flags here. So took 10% and like 15% off today, one at 23.69 when it went through a multiple of my average gain. So that I think was like a 10% profit. Took a little bit more off later on at 24.97 as it was approaching 25, round number. But this looks really constructive. It wasn't breaking out on news and then pulling back throughout the day. This broke out from a really nice pattern, really good. I mean, look at how repeatable this process is. Breaks out, huge volume, pulls back, low volume. Breaks out, big volume, pulls back, low volume. This isn't rocket science, but did I know that it was going to get an upgrade? Absolutely not. But trading isn't about absolutes. Trading is about putting probability in your favor and then rolling the dice. So this was constructive for a breakout. That's why I took the trade. No idea it was going to jump 20% in one day. But do I sell the rest now at 20%? No. I have taken some profit. I have some wiggle room now on the trade. Huge volume, way over some of these other ones, right in line with the previous breakout, or the second breakout here. Well above the upper Bollinger Band, closing near the high of the day. It's up after hours, so we'll see how this gets going. But this looks great. Glad I got some decent money on the trade going, and that's NIO. Really, really great chart to focus on to help you identify those breakout characteristics. So if you traded this one, say something in the comment section because I want to see how many people are trading this. So that's NIO. Another great chart to study for breakouts is PEIX. if you're from StockTwits and watching this right now, you are probably sick of me talking about this, but just a beautiful chart. Breaks out, let's see, from the base, up 500%, but this is still like a relatively cheap stock. Typically, I don't trade stocks under $5, but it did have a really nice pattern going. I started following this, let's see, September 3rd. I found this when the rest of the market was pulling back. I wanted to look at some like non-correlated stocks, so not looking at the Apple, Amazon, all that stuff when the market was pulling back. Wanted to get some profit in a different way. So found PEIX here, drew that low cheat, got in. My first one at 428 was my entry, and there's a lot of sell flags through here. Let me pull these down just for now so I can talk through the chart. But yeah, got in at 428 here, a little bit under the high of that day. And again, look at the volume. Volume and price tells way more stories than any news article will, and also price relativity to QQQ is what's on here. So showing strong increase in price relativity. This had all, even while it was pulling back. So this had all the setups for a breakout. We got that breakout candle right here. Moved sideways. Look at light volume on red days, big volume on green days, light volume, and then we got this played around with the $5 barrier for a little bit. It shouldn't matter what like trading near a round number, but it does. So good to know, good to trade like that. And then just tons of volume flooded this. Let's see, that move was an 18% day. I started taking profits throughout this run up. What I should have been doing was after my maybe second or third time taking profits, I should have just held on because closes near the upper part of the candle above the upper Bollinger Band after a contraction period, and that's when you usually see really strong breakouts. So that's a lesson learned for me to kind of squeeze out more profit on a trade, but something I'm definitely taking away. I got out the rest right here, but didn't get full size on this at the time. So kept it on my watch list because we got a nice lower volume pullback to the purple line here. That's the 8-day exponential moving average. I was on vacation when it broke out here, so unfortunately missed this one. This would have been a perfect candle to get in on. Could have drawn like a little low cheat there, got some, and then maybe added 7 at 722 when it broke over the second previous day's high. What I did, I think I got back October 2nd or so. Here, let me put the buy and sell flags back up. There we go. So got in to the position 3 different times, 794, 811, and 811 for the rest. So that was an average entry of 806 here. So let's just draw that line really quick. 807 is good enough. So that's my entry point for the second time I traded this. Breaks out on huge volume, so that's what I like to see after some consolidation, but staying above that 8-day exponential moving average. Sold some into the strength here once I got my 7.5%, whatever. Sold a little bit more when it broke over 9 for the first time because I knew how this handled $5 barrier. So once it broke over 9, wanted to book some profit, get the stress out of the trade, but still keep most of my money in. So 905 is the last time I took some profit, and then just let it kind of play out. Tested 9 a couple times, similar to the way it tested over $5 a few times before where's the one red day? One red day pulled back, similar to the red day we had on Friday. Pulled back to the 8-day exponential moving average. That held. Still lighter volume compared to the breakout. Stayed above my entry point, so stayed in the trade. Nothing nervous about that. And then Monday, we got a recovery, closed over the 8-day, got increased volume. Today, we got a clean breakthrough, $9. I took some profit at 961. So still rolling with the trade. I'd say about 2/3 position left, maybe a little bit less. But this no reason to kind of sell more for me now. I have a really nice entry point. This is heading towards $10. If it gets over 10, you have a whole new type of trader coming in, maybe buying this up. But when you're asked to, let me get rid of those flags again. Really just a clean chart of breakout, consolidate, breakout, consolidate, running up that 8-day, sometimes pulling back. The initial time I caught it was pulling back to the 20-day simple moving average. So this is PEIX. The chart's all messed up now. Let me get it back. PEIX, great chart to study. A little bit on the cheap side when we started, but add this to your watch list and just kind of train your eye to notice these volatility and volume contraction patterns during a strong uptrend. They typically lead to more breakouts. That's PEIX. Let's go CHWY, CHWY here. This one, let's see. I had a line drawn. It always does this. Basically, I had a line drawn from the previous top over here. Let's just rough estimate. And let's throw the trade history flags, not trying to hide anything. So did take the trade when it broke over this resistance point. Got in at 59.22. Was patient the first day because we got that close right near the upper part of the candle above the Bollinger Band on a contraction or after a contraction. So figured that would keep running up. Also got increased buying volume. That's great for continuation, and that's what we saw the next day. Took some profit at 64.47, just building that buffer for me. Next day, another green candle close over the Bollinger Band with high volume, but did get a little pullback in volume. So that's telling me we might have a couple pullback days. Did take a little bit off, not much there. And then today we got our first red candle down 4%. Red candle above the Bollinger Band. We might have another day or so pulling back. Maybe we get some sideways movement. What I liked about today was a little bit less volume on the sell-off. And because we got this clean entry, because we took some profits on the way up, we're not panic selling the stock. We're just going to watch it, see how this moves. But that's CHWY. Maybe this pulls back to that 8-day exponential moving average and pivots and then starts to pick up again with volume. If it does that, maybe I can add some size back on for an extended move higher. So I didn't sell anything today in the pullback. Noticed it was low volume. We'll see how tomorrow goes. CHWY. So LVGO. Oh man, I wasn't paying attention to the comment section. We got the comments going today. I'll read them in 1 sec. Let me get through this one. LVGO, we tried to trade this a couple times. Bought at this cup and handle, kind of downtrend here. Didn't work out, immediately got stopped out pretty quickly. And then got in, let me do that. Through that, got in basically near the high, 142.29. Sold a little bit on this right when it tested the 8-day. I think I sold half, added that back in when it started showing strength. Then it immediately squatted. So really started to play with my mind. But as long as the stock was constructive, the pullback was on very light volume. There was no reason for me to sell the stock. It didn't go through my stop loss. Everything about this was fine. It wasn't moving as fast as I'd liked, but that's fine. And then we got that breakout on Tuesday with really high volume. Today we got small red day, 0.5% down a little bit after hours, but also on very, very light volume. So didn't do any selling through this. Still think this is strong. again, watching that 8-day exponential moving average, maybe that provides support if it does pull back. So that's LVGO. Let me read these comments really quick. All right. Sweet. I got some stocks that from the comments that I'll go over in a little bit. We'll rush through a couple of my other trades because I do want to get to what's on my watch list to help you guys out for some stocks. But this is CRWD. I had a tough time trading this so far, but bought here at 143.77 and kind of just played around, sold a little bit just to lighten up exposure as the market pulled back on 10.6. Sold a little bit into strength yesterday, and then we did get a low volume pullback today. It's down a little bit more after hours. I'm not sure what that is for, but low of the day, found support at that 8-day exponential moving average. That's a place that I'll be watching for tomorrow, and will be guarding my entry with some stop loss there, but the rest probably at the 20-day simple moving average. I'm really trying to not panic sell any stocks that are in a constructive uptrend and the pullbacks are happening on low volume. Don't want to be too jumpy with that. All right, that's CRWD. NVAX, I got a request to talk about this. I'm also in this stock, so zooming out, really strong uptrend, then pulled back from the highs. I was shorting all through August, got some good profit on that, but since then it found a lower or higher low, and then started a really constructive volatility contraction pattern. So topped out at that 50-day simple moving average. So I knew that that would be kind of a test for us, but just drew kind of a diagonal through here. Got in half at 112.10 when it kind of touched over there. Got an increase on volume that day. Figured we'd start breaking out soon. Had 2 days of just kind of like moving sideways. Still lighter volume. Tuesday, we got that clean break above those highs. Tested that 50-day simple moving average. Couldn't break through that. I did add a little bit at 117. I thought that was 116. 117. Since then, today we squatted back right at that converging area of the 8-day exponential moving average and 20-day simple moving average after failing to break over the 50-day. So what am I looking at with this chart? Volume very light, not too afraid. Going to keep my stop kind of under some of these lows. So if it breaks through those, then I get out with a small loss, but still really tight patterns. So I'll take small losses as long as the stocks set up constructively to break out. And look, broke out on high volume through here, and then lighter volume on the pullbacks. Similar to NIO, so looking good on that. But if you're not in it yet, if we see some strength, especially if we break over that 50-day, this has room to run. What software am I using? This is just E-Trade, so nothing too fancy here. If you're interested in using E-Trade, I have a link in the description where I get a $50 Amazon gift card, but not trying to push that. Any of these online brokerages have pretty good charting systems. This is just what I used in my college trading course, so this is what I'm comfortable with. So that's NVAX. So let's go 2 more here before I get to some of the StockTwits ones. So this is Zoom. This one I've been patient with. Let's see here. Bought on this downtrend. What is this? 481.76. Thought we were breaking out immediately. Got some volume through there, but then pulled back. Very light volume. No reason to sell. This was holding the 8-day exponential moving average very well. Volume is drying up. And then let's see. Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Friday. Friday we got a little bit of lift, higher highs, higher lows. Seemed like we were going to push over that, but had a small red day. Tuesday we had a clean break on high increased volume. Took off 10% of the position at a multiple of my average gain, just locking in that profit. And then today we got a really low volume with a longer lower wick. So no reason to sell the stock. Still looks constructive. I'll take my chances with the pullback. If we get a little bit higher, maybe I move my stop loss to my entry, locking in a winning trade. That's something that I like to do. So that's Zoom, ZM, and Tesla. Tesla, really constructive setup through here. Got that pullback to the 50-day simple moving average, 35% pullback. Second pullback, did break under that, but closed well above. That was a 23, so 35, 23. What about this third pullback? Oh, it's even less, 9%. So volatility, contraction, pattern. I drew a diagonal down here to get a really nice risk-reward setup at 428.79. Since then, just kind of been floating up, nothing crazy. Higher highs, higher lows today. Still relatively light volume. Has earnings on the 21st, so I did take 10% of the position off today as it went through a multiple of my average gain. We'll see if this can run up 10, 15% into earnings, then I can hold through earnings. If it's not at that place, I'll take some position off, maybe run with half of that. But really constructive chart setup. Looks good for a earnings run up. All right, so stocks on my watch list is CRDF. This one is one that I've played before, but got huge buying volume through here when it ran, let's see, 90%. And then look at that selling volume. You guys, if you don't have volume on your chart, make sure you add it because it really tells the story for breakouts. Breakout, huge volume. Look at how tiny that selling volume was. And then kind of sideways movement still, but then boom, breakout over previous highs. Huge volume in this move up through here. Did not catch this. The second move, this one, moved up another 40%. So there's a power. There's power in the stock, right? Pulled back to the 8-day exponential moving average. Really light selling volume. That's when I got interested. I think at this point, I was heading to vacation soon, so didn't want to put too much size on. No, it was right after, so I wanted to kind of scale in, take my time. Bought in at 13.52 as it broke over kind of this little resistance diagonal here. Took half off when it pulled back. Honestly, there was no reason for me to do that. I was just trying to get total market exposure off. Should have kept with it because the next day was just another kind of inside day on extremely light volume. So I want to get the big volume candle off so you can see it. So really light volume, drying up. Then we got a huge breakout. So let me zoom back out. Big breakout on an increase of volume. I took profits all throughout that as it was going through multiples of my average gain. And then the next day, kind of a sideways movement. I did manage to sell just a couple, not much, at 1840 pre-market. But since then, has pulled back on very light volume to that 8-day exponential moving average. It showed a little bit of strength today after it broke under that and then came back to close slightly green candle, still red on the day. Took about a third of my typical entry position, so 3% or so of my portfolio. Tomorrow, looking to break over today's high. I'll add a little bit more size on. If it doesn't break over that high, I'm not adding if it keeps pulling back. If it keeps pulling back, maybe I'm taking this size off and it'll pull back to the previous base and that 20-day simple moving average. I'll keep it on my watch list at that point, but I don't want to be trading into a downtrend. So got my toe dipped into the water here, but nothing nothing big there. So that's CRDF, has breakout potential, good volume structure that we look for. Next one, MAXR, MAXR. This is one that we talked about on StockTwits last night. So if you're joining from StockTwits, you probably got my spiel about this already. Already a stock that I am in, have taken some profits on the way up, but also added to that. But what I like to see is buying volume higher, selling volume less. Buying volume higher, selling volume less. This is a pattern that leads to, when the stock's in an uptrend, leads to a continued breakout. And we're getting very close at $29.44 to a round number, so $30. We did go over that a couple times, similar to PEIX did before cleanly breaking through with a big volume. Tested the 8-day exponential moving average on Tuesday. That held up, closed much higher. So this seems ready to kind of break through after a month, 2 months of consolidation there. So that's MAXR. We got two more on my watch list is AMTX. This is another much cheaper stock, so trying to diversify away from just complete market risk with this one. Similar to PEIX, this has shown it has breakout potential up 310, but then pulled back. I'm not in the stock at this $2 price. But then kind of zooming through here, noticed it kind of do this U and then pull back a little bit lower. Broke under the 8-day exponential moving average, but then reclaimed that. So I bought a little bit when it reclaimed that, put more size on today. So I'm at like 9% of my portfolio, as today's low touched off that 8-day exponential moving average and then closed right at the previous day's high. Volume's been getting very, very light through here. So what I'm looking for is a break over the high from today. What was that? That was 360. Break over 360. We're probably at least testing the previous highs, and that'd be an 8% gain. But this has been in a strong uptrend, good consolidation pattern. Does this mean it has to go up? No, there's no absolutes in trading, but we're just adding some probability here. So that's AMTX, small stock, but getting away from market risk with that. Final one that I have a bunch from StockTwits to go over, and we'll start with the comments, then go back to StockTwits because I can always just link those. But this is CELH, CELH, good volatility contraction pattern after a huge run up here. So what is this? Let's see. 400% jump from May or so. And then you get from high to low, 35%, high to low, 23%, high to low, 19%, and then we get a lot of volume coming through here. So still seems to be in a constructive pattern. I did take some shares today when it broke over this high, but it did so early on in the morning. This is me breaking one of my rules. I should not have added this. I should have waited until the first hour to see what held, because as a lot of stocks that we saw today broke out on it really early and then immediately started selling back. And when that happened, I knew I didn't want to be adding more exposure to the market. So a little bit stuck in this, but did so thankfully with a very light amount of size there. But still looks constructive. You see higher lows through here and holding that 50-day simple moving average relatively well. So this is one, if we get another kind of up day through here, maybe breaking over Monday's high, you could start adding size to this. And because it wasn't such a strong uptrend, because we have those tighter and tighter pullbacks, we might get a strong breakout here. So I'll be adding when it breaks over Monday's high again, after the first hour this time. So that's CELH. All right, let me run through these comments super quick, so give me 1 minute. NIO, PTON, yeah, Peloton. massive winner. Really kicking myself for going on vacation at the wrong time because I got in the stock when it broke over the previous day here, and then sold some into strength and then sold some right as I was leaving because I didn't have internet access, didn't want to worry about trading, and I should have just kept my stop loss and my entry because this is a monster. Let's see, running 42% from there. So that sucks for me. It's good for anyone that's in the stock still. What do you notice about this stock? This is the cleanest uptrend I've ever seen, and in a lockout rally. So really hard to put any position on through here because hasn't pulled back, hasn't given a good risk reward entry. So if you got in at a good price through here or maybe breaking over the previous high, that's great. You're probably trimming some through here, but until this gives you a reason to fully sell, I would stick with the trend. If it does start pulling back, you got that 8-day moving average at 121.65 currently. 20-day, that would be a stretch down at 105. With every day, that's going to come back higher. But at every one of these days, people were saying, okay, now it has to pull back. It's overvalued. Now it has to pull back. It's overvalued. Forget about what people are saying. Look at price, look at volume, and stick to your selling pattern. If you sell at every multiple of your average gain, you're doing a great job through here. You're not hitting 42% on the move, but you're hitting 21%, and that's really great. If you're booking 21% on a trade, you're not kicking yourself. But just sticking with the trend. Doesn't have to be overly complicated, but emotionally it's really hard to do because you see your profit going up, and you hear it's overvalued, but until that trend breaks, stick with it. But you do have those areas to watch. So 8-day, 20-day, and hopefully you've taken some profit through here. So you're feeling good about the trade. So that's Peloton. I have gotten some questions. Should I short this now? I would not short anything in a strong uptrend. Just like how I'm trying to buy stocks in strong uptrends, I would sell short stocks in downtrends. So always trying to put probability in my favor. What's in an uptrend typically stays in an uptrend. What's in a downtrend will typically stay in a downtrend. Not trying to trade mean reversion theory. So that's Peloton. Great job if you're in it. Great run. Great bike. So let's see. I am swing trading. So I have an average at 61. Yeah, I don't personally trade options, so not sure about selling puts. I mean, I've traded options in the past, not something that I like to do. Rather book some profit and then keep letting the rest run because just like we see in Peloton, uptrends stay in an uptrend. So we have another one, SPAQ. This is a stock that I almost traded through here as we got a really low volume pullback. So I actually had a buy order to say if it broke over this high on 921, I would have bought in because this is a great cup and handle, but that broke to the other direction. So my order never got filled, thankfully, and we pulled back through here. Now it's getting tight. 50-day simple moving average is holding really well. Volume's drying up. This is set for a strong move, but I'm not sure which direction. Because it's not in a clear uptrend, not something that I would be betting with a large position size on. Probably not a trade that I would personally take just because it's basically slightly above the previous base, but not in a strong uptrend. But you do have, if you enter with today's high, let's see, what would that be? That 50-day, 4% through some of those lows, 6%. So decent risk reward if you put your stop below some of these lows. And if the stock breaks below some of these lows, you kind of know it's not working out in your favor for a swing trade. So If we break over that 20-day simple moving average, especially if we do so with volume, then this gets much more interesting. But I'm already in a lot of stocks, not trying to add names that aren't already in a strong uptrend. But good risk reward if you can stick to your stops. So that's SPAQ. Let's go ANAB. So I've never heard of this stock before. I don't know any of the news. I'm just looking at the technical analysis on this. Huge volume today with a 14% move, but let's see, what did this top out at? Topped out at 38%, gave back 20%. These long upper wicks aren't something that would make me want to hold a stock into the next day. Like with NIO, that broke out and then pushed higher all day, got great volume and closed near the high. This didn't close near the high. Hopefully you booked some profits up in this wick because it's well through some multiples of your average gain, unless you're the best trader of all time. And look at this. Stopped out. I know that's not a perfect line, but stopped out. What is this? 24.30, 24.45. So just jumped over some of those highs and then turned around. What are you looking for tomorrow? A move, ideally a move higher. Anything pulling back, and you're likely to fill this gap before moving up. These long upper wicks, you don't like to see that. Does that mean it can't immediately move up and make me look like an idiot? No. Anything can happen. We're just talking probabilities here. So that's ANAB. NAV. How are you guys liking the stream? If you're finding any value from what I'm saying, please do me a huge favor. Just hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. We do these on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Or Wednesdays and Fridays, sorry. The Friday one's a little bit longer and goes over more than just technical analysis. All right, so NAV, Navistar, big dump today. So, I mean, this move already takes it off the table for me. I'm not trying to trade a stock that's pulled back. Huge selling volume. Everything about this says just get out. There's so many different setups that are working right now that that you don't want your money tied up in a stock that's in now a strong pullback. Put your money to work in a stock that's in a strong uptrend, that's pulled back, consolidating really well, and ready to break out. But that's NAV. OTRK, I had this on my watch list. It looked great the first 30 minutes, almost bought in. Thankfully, did not, but still looks really strong here. Look at this like monster move. What is that? 280%. Pulled back, found some support at that 50-day moving average, pushed higher, pulled back again, found support at that 50-day, moved a little bit higher. Good volume on the green candle, less volume on this red candle that again closed right at that 50-day. So higher low here as well after a good pullback. Still on my watch list. I would need to get stopped out of some positions to free up capital to take this trade, but yeah, look at that. You can get a really like nice low risk entry. So what I like to do on these trades, and what I should be doing more, is enter with half when it breaks the diagonal resistance, where you can really get a nice entry with a low risk to your either the previous day's low under some moving averages, or under some previous day's low. So if you enter with a break over that diagonal, that's 65, 67. Then a pullback under all these lows would be 6.6%. So that's a decent risk right there. And then maybe you add more as it breaks over the previous high. But still something I'm looking at. Good low volume sell-off today. Held that 50-day simple moving average. OTRK, keep that on the watch list. Oh, man, so many here. So what I'll do is any of the stocks on the stream that I don't get to, I'll type up in StockTwits and comment on those. So if you follow me on StockTwits, that's where you'll see those, like the rest of here. I do have a couple that I got already that I need to go over for the people that already follow me. So apps, APPS. This was a great winner for me, but this was one that I'm learning to stay in a trade until it gives me some violations that it's pulling back. So really nice pattern through here, got tight, and then bought at $26, right at that base. Sold throughout the strength here, but took all the size off at the kind of last day before it broke down. Found support right around that 8-day, really light volume too on that pivot, and then just has been in a super strong uptrend. So again, no reason for me to sell it at this point. That was a mistake I made. But holding that 8-day exponential moving average really well, close up near the high of the Bollinger Band, or over the Bollinger Band, but at the high of the day, volume increasing with the move. At this point, you get a red candle close outside of the Bollinger Band. You're probably taking some profit through here, especially if you're in this at any move through here. That's 63% profit. A red candle outside of the Bollinger Band, and I always take some profit off. Still looks constructive, still in an uptrend, but we might see a pullback to that 8-day, which would be 7.6%. Pullback to the 20-day right now would be 15%, and that would get us back to the base. So we'll see if that happens, but that's APPS. What's one that I really wanted to go over? PENN is on my watch list for a breakout here. I got in right at the base of the previous breakout, sold through the strength, and pulled back. Support at that 20-day, pulled back higher low through here. So yesterday was a decent day as it broke over the previous day's high, closed right at the high of the day, above that 8-day exponential moving average. So that was a day that you could have added a little bit. Today, basically a flat day on very light volume. Tested that 20-day, pulled back. This looks primed to take off again. Especially now you can use the high from Wednesday. So that's 69.94, near a round number, right at that 20-day simple moving average. Now a clean break through that, you're going to see increased buying volume and probably another breakout. So PENN has been in a strong uptrend, giving you really easy entries the entire way. I think this might be another one. I'll have to check my capital, see what maybe some stocks that aren't working I can liquidate and get into this, but really something I'm looking for here. Really good entry. Oh, man. Let's go. I see Marvel in the chat a lot, so let's cover that, and then we got two more, and then I'll cover the rest on StockTwits. Marvel, this is exactly what I want to see from a pullback. Look at how light that volume is these past 2 days. You got some selling volume through here, sure, but let's see, what kind of move was that? 12% move, extending those Bollinger Bands out of a contraction through here. So look at all this buying volume. Look at the selling volume, very light. Man, ideally you get one more slight pullback to that 8-day, but I kind of doubt it. We could use the high of Wednesday to get in. See, for me, like the price is important. I like looking at the price, but the volume tells so much of the story. So really looking for this to continue its uptrend, especially after this long base here. So what is that? From June to, so almost 3 full months of kind of waving around while already in a strong uptrend. This looks great. That's MRVL, Marvel Technology. Etsy was one that I had to cover. I guess we'll do this one just super quick. Similar to Peloton, in a strong uptrend. you're probably taking profit through some of this, but until that uptrend really breaks down, look at the small volume on today's kind of sideways movement. No reason to sell this right now. If you do pull back, you got the 8-day at 143, and probably get stopped out before it pulls back to the 20-day, because that does have some lagging to go. A gift feature. Mike, if you want to get me a gift, all you have to do is like all the videos that I'm putting out and keep commenting and keep making money, because when you guys make money, it makes the stream look good, and we get more traction on this. This is the best chat we've had so far, so really liking the Wednesday market movers that we're doing. Let's see. What should we end this with? ZVO. All right, so we get strong breakout, huge volume, kind of sideways movement, then, or not sideways movement, stronger pullback. What is that? To the bottom, 47%, a little bit stronger than I'd like on these kind of pullbacks after strong breakouts, but looks like it found a really nice round bottom. Big volume coming in the last couple of days as it pushes through here. Are you buying this far extended from kind of this base? What would that be? 22%? Absolutely not. If it keeps running on you, it keeps running on you. There's going to be stocks setting up that you can take. But watch for a low volume pullback. That's what we're looking for. Low volume to that 8-day, which right now is where that 50-day simple moving average is. So two different types of traders are going to be looking at that area. The short-term guys with the 8-day exponential moving average, and the longer term with 50 days. So if that pulls back on low volume, that'll give you a nice pivot for a stronger move. If it keeps running, it keeps running. If you're already in the trade, you can put your stop kind of below that place, and you probably have made money on this breakout, but you want to protect that profit. So that's ZVO. And yeah, let's wrap this up at the hour. I know there are a bunch of other stocks that you guys put in the comment section. Thank you so much for really getting the comment section going today. I feel like this was the best stream that we've had thus far. Yeah. Last kind of call. Follow me on StockTwits. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to the channel. Live streams Wednesday and Friday. Also starting to put out a Trading 101 series of basic, like, all the videos that I wish I watched when I was just getting into trading. That's going to help position size, risk management, identifying breakouts. Something for the new trader that they can learn about all these things, then jump to our live streams and really are able to soak up all the information that we talk about. So that's it for me. Thanks for joining tonight. Have a great rest of the week, and hopefully we get these stocks turning around. I know today was a red day. It was a red day for me as well, but a lot of low volume pullback, so trying not to worry. All right, take care.